Our opening song is by Stephen Cogswell. Get it at otfi.com/musical. It's called This Is Not a Musical.
I'm going to say that it is fake.
It's a feeling.
It is not.
Do you want some carrots? You are my horse thing, that reindeer. Oh, that beautiful star.
Yes! Just making sure.
Is the F-wording crime? Why am I saying F-word? Fucking
Get with the now, broski.
America is torn asunder. Brother against brother, in a way not seen since the 19th century. Standing up wipers, sitting down wipers, joining hands to say, yes, it is a musical, or no, it is not.
Lines of white chocolate with lollipop. We're here to make your day. Let's see you later, boy. Lines of white chocolate.
But now there's pastrami melts, putting pickles down in his belt. Bologna wasn't good enough for him.
That's the number of big slaps around the field you're gonna take. Get crushing that puss.
You want to know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of all this doubt. I'm tired of this disgusting act through my nostrils. Play the fucking game. Look, I'm just asking a question.
Oh man! Oh man! You beautiful people, you know it has got to be go time. It's Tuesday night, which means we got to set the fire to the internet. Hello, I'm Brian Brushwood, live in Austin, Texas, joining you as always by my BFF and OAK is JRY. Welcome to Night Attack, Justin Robert Young.
Oh my God! Brian, I'm so excited to be back for yet another episode of
I'm so excited to remember that that it was a week ago that we were fighting over whether or not it was a musical.
I know. I feel like our intellectual jousting lately has brought about some amazing revelations. I would encourage everybody, if you are not a patron, to get on in on the Patreon, because we got a good pre-show conversation I think is probably going to last throughout the rest of the night, but it begins on that pre-show, and you're going to need to go find it out if you want to hear what's going on.
Yeah, worth listening to the whole thing, but basically we're trying to figure out if there was ever a Wile E. Coyote cartoon that did not have Bugs Bunny in it, in which he spoke. So
Yeah.
Get back to us on that. Thanks. Mail at nightattack.tv.
Brian, what's going on, man? What's going on in the world? You ever just look out into the world and say, why is everything happening like that?
Hells yeah. You know what I found out? I found out, thank fucking God, it's July now, and now I get to stop playing a certain card game because I don't have to chase a certain run.
I feel like we heard this exact same thing.
Well, no, but
last
now
month.
it's definitely over. The month is over, and everything's over. I'm done with it. It's fine. I'm moving on. Look, man, I got a property to build. There's science to be done.
So wait, hold on. The biggest thing that's going on in the world right now, in your opinion, is not Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's well. Okay, it's not quote not Hearthstone. It is quote not dash Hearthstone. Like the biggest thing is literally the rest of my life. It's very exciting. When you step away, look. Have
So
you
I can
ever?
uninstall Hearthstone from this
obviously
computer.
not as exciting as it would have to be for you to lead with something that's actually happening in your life.
Well, okay, the month only ended 2 days ago, Justin. There's just not a lot of time. I mean, we can talk about what we do in the shadows, or documentary now, or the third episode of Chernobyl. I mean, I'm open to all of these things.
No, this is not Cord Killers. We're not talking about the things that you have to watch for Cord Killers.
Which is why I'm talking about the other things in my life. For example, all the not Hearthstone that I've been playing. Oh, we are joined by the lovely and talented MC Allergy herself, Miss Bonnie Brushwood. How are you, sweetie?
Yo, how's everybody doing?
Good. So what did happen this week? You cleaned?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah, I cleaned. I got the bug. I realized that my children were old enough not to create a complete disaster from all the art supplies. So I went ahead and started putting art supplies out where and then threw away all the old toys and stuff. Is that
Okay.
what you
Oh,
mean?
here we go. I actually have a really important question for you, Justin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. I love important and interesting questions. By the way,
So-
Bonnie's look right now, for those of you who cannot see and are only listening, you look like a movie director.
I
You
was
look
about
like
to say-
every director that's like on the behind the scenes comment. You look like every shot of like Patty Jenkins on Wonder Woman.
I was gonna say Cocoon era Ron Howard is what we got.
But I
She's
think
got the baseball hat.
That's where that uniform got minted. It's just like it's a coat or hoodie and then low hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question.
Go.
Now that we have a little bit of space, we're trying, and of course, money's tight because we're shoveling everything into a black hole. But we do have a lot of space. So it's like, okay, where are we spending money on dumb things? One of the things is storage. So we emptied out storage,
Oh,
which means
yes.
that Bonnie has uncovered like 20 years of art. And she's faced with the realization
But I
that
used
Bonnie
to suck.
in her 40s is more talented than Bonnie in her 20s.
Oh my God! And now I'll bet you, because Bonnie, your most intense focus on your art career came with like a fairly large gulf in between. That I will hazard a bet, and tell me if I'm wrong, that for I would say a decade and a half, you spent a lot of time thinking, man, I was great back in my 20s. That's when I was really firing on all cylinders. And then you had to come face to face with what you've done compared to the fact that you've been now getting back up to speed for the last 5 years, right?
Yeah, that's very accurate. I thought it was hot shit.
All right, so give me an example, Bonnie, of you facing that reality.
Oh, like I took something out that was kind of adorable. It was like me trying out portraits, and I had traced everything out, and the color palette was way off. But on the back, I had said, "Oh, well, do this, this, and this." Like I was creating a formula. Like I had a 5-step formula for how I was going to attack this portrait.
I mean, so far everything you're saying sounds perfectly intelligent and like something a good artist would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Bonnie, we're here so you trash your 20-year-old self. So go
Oh.
ahead. Where were you like?
oh.
Oh, I sucked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I took out this very lurid painting that was
Lurid?
lurid. That's the only word
It's just
for
it's
it.
straight up it's a caricature of me with my dick out going,
Oh my God! It might as well have been. It was just like, but with like the hot
Just like,
light.
I mean, look, it was small enough to be you, but it wasn't specific.
It was
mean-
just like as if the neon lights on the the Skank district was just glowing on it.
The Skank District? Is that where you go? Where I go, sweetheart, I'll be back. I'm headed over to the Skank District. I'll be home with a few of the S words.
Well, yeah, like S for sucks.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Or
so okay. So here's the question:
Oh
is
yeah.
what? Okay. Yeah, you're not bringing it up, so I'm going to tell you. Bonnie, did I tell you Bonnie's idea for the bonfire?
I think I might have heard a little whisper of this, but I feel like you can set it up better here.
Bonnie
So
was saying one of the first things she wants to do at the new property is have an art show to show off all of her awesome ceramic work. By the way, Sunshine Clay, you can see examples of it. It's all supremely awesome. But she would also have a fire sale where so you would show up to the bonfire, BON-fire, because Bonnie loves puns, and
Yeah,
there
sure.
would be a fire, and everybody could pay whatever they want for her old shit, and if it wasn't bought like in like a 5-minute period, you either had to throw it on the fire yourself. or buy it. Like everybody had to grab an old piece of work from Bonnie, and she was like, either give me money or throw it on this fucking bonfire.
I'm gonna make this pitch, and I'm gonna ask that because we are not far away from the entire fabric of not only Night Attack but also all of the work that I have done with Brian. Because every single stitch of any work that I've done with Brian in a comedic capacity has happened in the room that we are talking to you guys in Austin right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We are now. I hesitate to put a specific time frame on it, but we are very close to a point compared to the entire stretch of history that you guys are going to be in a larger space. I will offer my services and fly to Austin for free if I can host or be one of the hosts for a 24-hour home shopping network inspired by Bonnie's old shit. And if it doesn't sell in whatever period of time, we literally just throw it on the bonfire.
Look at that art. The big brushes, the bushy colors.
I would just love to. There's just, for whatever reason, I was just filled with intense joy of the idea of looking at art that I've never seen of yours and then just selling it like I'm a vintage Mike Rowe. And then it being like, and we're at the end, so I guess this goes on the bonfire.
I love this idea that the fire's just raging behind you the whole time.
Sure,
and so
yeah,
you're
whatever.
sitting there and you're just doing it like there's nothing, and then you're showing the art. But meanwhile, the fire's back there happening, and they're like,
I kind of figure that it's it's probably, you shoot it in the studio, and that's where you have all the kind of like stuff set up. But then, like, literally, that fire pit is only a very quick walk from the door. You're just walking over and having another camera on the fire.
Yeah.
And just,
The only thing I love
this.
more than this idea is the idea that all of Chat Realm is invited to constantly be calling in to talk, and then the conversation ends with, "So you want to buy it?" And we're like, "Oh no, thank you. That's not for me." and then we take it out and throw it on the bonfire.
that's it. Oh my God, how funny would it be is if it just we take one call, and I'm like, I gotta talk them in. I gotta like, hey, look, what do I gotta do to get you to buy this piece of art right now? Also, everything we're building in like $40 shipping and handling, and we're probably gonna take half of it.
yeah.
How much it's gonna be, but minimum $40 to buy fucking anything, and then whatever the bid is on top of it. And if it doesn't hit 40, fuck right off into the bonfire.
Yep. That sounds amazing. And I do have some pictures of horses.
So you know what's
So
funny?
you can be like doing that classic scene though. That look at this
Look
horse.
at that horse.
Here's the part that I hesitate to say live on air, but when you first pitched this, I'm like, Bonnie, that's awful. That's just you beating up on yourself or whatever. And then I saw some of the art you brought back. and I was like, wow, you've really evolved over the last 20 years.
I know. Except for those pretend I'm not here. That was.
Oh, those are great. I wonder if any of those are.
I'm looking at one right now. No, that is something that I have. I mean, I was supposed to be shooting content on this wall that I created. I put all my favorite art on, but yeah, no, that pretend I'm not here is dope. Like that.
Yeah.
That will at some point. That will always be with me. That one's amazing.
Yeah, I really like those. That was fun.
No, but that's not early. Like I want like angsty, like thinks she can see the real world, man. Like Bonnie. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to see. And also, it's like I do kind of feel like, number one, as we can all understand, art is not about quality.
Right.
Art
Correct.
is about what it makes people feel. That's why art is subjective. Art, specifically pricing, is whatever somebody's willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very curious if a single thing would hit the bonfire.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I've seen I'm pretty sure a couple of them.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were all great. I used to put them out and do these shows, and just the thought that I hauled those damn things around Austin to put up for everybody to see. Although sadly, the rats started eating my favorite one.
Oh no!
Yeah, the one where I made it out of macaroni. The word fuckaroni.
Oh, it was delightful. So she made it as if it was a classic 1970s housewife project, and it was this wonderful piece that sort of fused desperation to fit in with this nihilistic fuck everything thing. And so it's this perfect macaroni art, and it just said fuckaroni.
and this beautiful like gold frame thing, you know.
I'm just saying. All right, so Brian, what do you think would be the first piece to hit the bonfire?
I don't know.
Describe because you have one in your head.
Yeah.
You have one in your head right now. What is the piece that you feel would hit the bonfire first?
Bonnie did a series of various animals where instead of cross-hatching, she did thousands and thousands of written words. And the problem is when you write, when you're drawing with words, sometimes words don't match the proportions of the way the things are. And so some of them turned out less aesthetically on the mark than others. Would that be fair to say, Bonnie?
I think that is very gentle. You're being
How
very,
would you describe that piece?
yeah, garbage. I mean, it's just like, nah, like I did like Mary Had a Little Lamb because I was like doing like these like.
Because we had babies at the time, yeah.
Yeah, well,
You were doing Aesop's Fables and
yeah, I was doing those. Well, I this is where I ran into is I was writing these, or you doing these pictures with words, and then I was just like, oh, nobody likes it when I say they're words out of what I'm thinking at the time. Like I could see that they just really hated that. They were just like,
Oh, because you were doing stream of consciousness,
I was doing-
which is why you stopped doing that and you started doing the actual text from Aesop's Fables,
Right.
as you did drawings depicting scenes from it.
right. So like the Frog series is total stream of conscious, and you could read what my thoughts were from my 20s. You can literally
It just
read.
says, "I'm a piece of shit.
I
I'm
know,
a
I
golden
mean-
god."
I mean, I don't even know. I have not gone through and read all those recently, but I can't imagine it's great. And then I skipped over. I go, well, what work can I do that isn't copyright? That's copyright free, and
Right.
So I started to go, I need to churn some money for this shit. So, and I did the Aesop's Fables, and I sold most of those. So
Yeah, dude,
those actually did
those
really
did really well.
But the ones that didn't sell, we got the bonfire.
Oh, shit. All right. So a bonfire coming soon. But friends, if you want to light your money on fire, you can do it by giving it to us.
Yeah,
at
man.
Patreon.com/Night Attack.
It's the only way to send your money up to heaven. Heaven ain't got no mailing address. Instead, you got to set it on fire with digital currency at patreon.com/Night Attack. And if you are a new subscriber / patron, or you raise your pledge, then you have a chance to participate in a little thing that we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
It's an hour of it. Oh, hells yeah. Oh, hells yeah. Hard-nosed detective showing up live on the scene. I'm here to do two things. Solve a mystery and quintuple my current pledge.
Oh, my God. Detective, what can we make this check out to?
Well, first of all, you gotta give me a crime. Why did you summon me, shopkeeper?
Oh, my God. Well, I'm the baker, and it turns out that the candlestick maker, killed my wife.
Well, okay, I believe you're jumping to conclusions there. What evidence do you have? Hold on, let me get my notepad. All right, yes, okay, so claims, killed wife. What's up with Candy C?
Well, he's a real piece of work, and he keeps yelling about my blog, and he's been leaving nasty comments, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's him, and certainly not the butcher who murdered my wife with a meat cleaver.
Well, I'm sorry, it sounds like you suspect the candlestick maker, but you also flatly said that the butcher killed your wife with a meat cleaver. Also, what's your blog about? I've got some free time.
Mostly the Sacramento Kings. So I would say, look, the candlestick maker's a real piece of work. He hates me. He hates the Sacramento Kings. He hates my blog. But me and the butcher are best friends. I complain about my wife to him all the time. Anyway, I think the candlestick maker murdered my wife with the meat cleaver. Prove it. Here's money. Go.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, let me just get some name. Let me do a little Googling. Candlestick maker. Real name Phil Hartman. Okay, let's see. Butcher. Google. Real name Orenthal James Simpson. Listen, buddy. How well do you know the Butcher?
Oh, we're best friends. We share everything together. We love. We're great guys. You know, we hang out. You know, he's been telling me about. He's kind of a famous guy. He does Avis commercials. You know, he's
how did he come upon the nickname the Butcher?
Oh, you know. Back in the 90s, we all had a wild past, right? But he's super calm. I live on a golf course in Las Vegas.
Okay, well, listen, how satisfied will you be with my work? Normally, we're supposed to give you a satisfaction survey after I solve the crime, but just, we like to call this a pre-survey. How satisfied would you be if I found out that the Butcher was not, in fact, the killer of your wife? Sorry, the candlestick maker was not the killer of your wife, but it was, in fact, the Butcher.
My friend, the Butcher,
yes,
killed my wife with a meat cleaver. And also, my wife was next to a waiter when it happened.
Okay, well,
that was telling me, not the candlestick maker, not the man who has brought so many gifts and light into our lives, Phil Hartman. Not Phil Hartman. O.J. Simpson killed my wife. You want to know what? Oh, my God. I would give you an 11 out of 10. This has been a tremendous epiphany. You're the world's greatest detective. Where again should I make out this check?
Make it out to me, David Cadena.
David Cadena.
David Cadena.
Cadena.
David Cadena.
David Cadena.
Anyway, OJ's a murderer.
Oh. Ooh.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah, it turns out he murdered 2 people.
Oh,
Apparently he did it this time.
he finally got around to it.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, there's always this one part of the show where we like to tell a story. It's totally unrelated to the fact that if you watch us live at twitch.tv/Night Attack, starting around 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, you can go ahead and give us bits, and you can subscribe to the channel. It has nothing to do with the fact that these are all names of people that have done that and are doing it currently.
Just a weird coincidence, man. This is a true tale of how we loved Adam of Geekheim, but we realized that Captain Fubar is one hell of a character. Well, he was walking down the street the other day, and he saw the buck just laying on the ground, reached over, picked it up, put it right in his wallet.
Yeah, well, he loves money because he was building a gigantic business. Vial 82, he called it. That was going to be the way he'd make his fortune globally. As he flew to Antwerp and said, Tweak 900 is my #1 preferred airline.
Yes. Well, so after arriving there, he says, "Look, guys, I got a real poop tempest for you. Listen, what you want to do is you want to freak everyone else with some Vial 90 content. Take Captain Jack 913. Remember that time he once peed on a whale and then took the corpse and put his balls inside the blowhole? That was straight up Hando Tadpool content."
Yeah, you're not lying, said his business associate, shocked by his amazing Don Draper-esque pitch. Oh, well, Bearded Will Gaming is something my Antwerpian father used to tell me when I was a boy, and that's something I live by, and that's the story of whoever the fuck named it.
Smooth like butter. Nailed it. By the way, Bearded Will Gaming always has been our favorite person on the planet.
Bit Boss.
Yeah, that is the halftime bit boss. Thank you very much, Bearded Will Gaming. I would like to invite a beautiful human onto this show, somebody that we have known for a very, very long time. He is, of course, the host of so many great programs. The Morning Stream, Film Sack. There will be, is it Dungeons or Dragons? There will be Dungeons.
Dungeons.
There will be Dungeons. Folks, you heard his voice. You know him so well. The one, the only, the beautiful Scott Johnson. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
I'm not bad.
Hey, F a dog. Oh my gosh, that's a throwback for sure.
Yeah. How you been, man?
I've been good. You know, that goes back to like 2013, like early 2013.
I believe 2010 is where it goes back to, because I am certain that I was at Halloween Horror Nights at the time.
F a dog!
You were. I remember you waking me up, and I'm like, Brian Brushwood, the kids are sleeping.
If I remember correctly, it was back when the early days of NSFW, our number one complaint was that we were just barking dogs the whole time. So we had this idea, we'll do a whole episode as if we're NPR. So the two of us giggling through our teeth the whole time just spoke in the cadence and the whisper and the overly confident tone of as if we were on.
dog!
No, I remember that very well. I was told that was probably my last few months in Florida, actually. No, I was still in Florida when that happened.
Oh
Absolutely,
my gosh.
you were. I remember that being a feature of the show was you being in Florida. And now look at us now. Look at us now, fellas. Look at us now.
Why you got a green screen behind you?
So it doesn't work with this camera that you have me on, but normally I'd have some cool background thing happening, which is what I do when I'm streaming. So people at home see me like, with whatever I want, but you guys see me just with a blanket, basically.
I mean, if that helps, we've always seen you for who you are.
Right.
The funniest thing is that now on the morning stream, Scott's background 90% of the time is just his regular background, but clean. There's just no errant, a random bottle or anything behind. It's just he's like, I found the way to always keep my set clean. It's a green screen.
It is kind of lame. What I did was I took a picture. Justin's not too far off the track here. I took a picture of all my like nerd stuff that's like set up nicely over there, all stacked, kind of like a bunch of action figures and all this dumb stuff. And I took a really nice picture of that so that could be behind me, when really I could have just shifted this over there or moved that here and had it literally behind me. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, it looks great. It looks, because initially I was like, oh, I guess Scott moved some stuff, but it's like, no, you want to know what? This is way better. In fact, I almost kind of feel like it's worth it as a magic trick that you should just you shouldn't have admitted that you ever had a green screen, and then eventually just space.
Look who I'm on with. Like, y'all could have. I mean, if I'd have known it was considered magic, I wouldn't have changed it. And now I feel like a fool. But it's good. I'll live with it. If I need something else back here, I can do it. You need nudity, I got it. I got you covered. Yeah. You need, mayonnaise for a certain Justin Robert Young to be back there.
Knock it off. Why are you always so weird about the mayonnaise? You always just want to talk about mayonnaise. We could literally talk about anything else, but Scott Johnson texts me just randomly. He just texts me random mayonnaise gifts and random mayonnaise stories. Like 50% of all my personal communication with Scott Johnson, who I consider to be a very good friend, is just him taunting me about the fact that I hate mayonnaise personally. Not content, not even on social media, literally just texting me.
Let me give you a good example of this. And I went extra mile for this. So you don't even know this because I didn't tell you, but one night I'm watching something on TV and there's a guy eating with a big spoon right out of a jar of Hellman's mayonnaise, just yum, nom, nom, chucking the stuff down. I grab my phone. I deftly throw it in the air with both hands. I take a picture, which does a motion, or what do you call that? Live photo, right, on your iPhone. Yeah. So then I take that into GiphyCam, which is an app on my phone, and I make a GIF, and then I save it, and then I text it to Justin without any explanation. It's pretty great.
This happens constantly. Again, I would rate it at 50% of all communication is mayonnaise gifts. But
your answer 75% of the time is hate speech, and then that's all I hear about.
That's pretty much it. I wish I could deplatform you on the Messages app, because at this point you deserve it.
I will tell you though, now that I understand that you're using the green screen to be like your perfect background, it makes me suddenly realize that I would pay good money for like a 5-minute clip art of somebody who has the original backgrounds to like a 1980s sweet Olin Mills thing. So it's like it would be just a 5-minute video of like, a charcoal gray background dropping down and then sitting there, and then it goes up and then down comes faux library background and all that stuff.
This is a great idea. That's a great idea. Actually, back at the other side of the studio where the kids are currently slobbing out, I want to put like one of those, like an electric roller thing, and down will come whatever I need, whatever background I want or need will just come down. So why not some old Olin Mills backdrops, which, by the way, a name and term I haven't heard since like 1988. So good job there. Yeah.
I honestly do not know what Olin Mills.
Nowadays it's Life Touch photos. That's. Hey, Bryce, do you got a game for us?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi, Bryce.
Hi. Hey, Scott.
Hey.
Good talking to you again.
Yeah, you too, man.
So we've got a game here from Adam, a.k.a. Speed Demon. A little game we like to call Jargon and the Jargonauts. You guys know this game?
Yeah, it's got bad stop-motion animation from the 1970s, and it features Jargon, who discovers that his dad's a real piece of work, and says, fuck you, Dad, and he gets on a boat, and he beats up skeletons.
And then what happens?
And then, at some point, he descends into the underworld where things get really wacky.
That's
That is
Psychonauts.
until, of course, the skeleton lobby rises to power, at which point Jargon is canceled.
That's a hashtag canceled.
And worms become
But
the
then he comes
dollars.
back home realizing that the real bones were in his sternum the whole time.
Yeah. The worms are their money.
I showed that to Josie the other day. It's a pretty good one. And that sketch is particularly good because the song that we don't get to hear is so good. Like I really want to hear the rest of it.
Yeah. All right, real quick. Number one, Scott, have you watched the sketch series I Think You Should Leave?
No.
I swear to God, when we're done with this, the first episode's like 20 minutes. If you don't like the first episode, you can never listen to any recommendation I ever video game.
I'll bet I like it. And also, I owe you one because I made you watch an episode of our cartoon president thing on Showtime. So if I made you do that, then
You did, and our relationship is not the same. All I'm saying is this: you would very, very, very much like it. But Brian, you were very, very crestfallen in a personal conversation that we had because one of the best sketches there, which is not in the first episode, but is the Ford Focus sketch, right?
Yeah.
And then I sent both you and Bryce a news story because it was a viral thing on Twitter that one of the jokes in it is that somebody keeps suggesting that a feature in the car should be a steering wheel that flies off.
That doesn't fly off.
It doesn't.
How about a steering wheel that doesn't fly right out the window? And he's like, okay, I'll write it down. What else you got? And people are like, voice-activated mirrors. And people are like, content-sensitive lights. And then he's like, how about a steering wheel that doesn't fly right out the window? And it keeps on going until it gets funny. But Justin sent me 2 images side by side. One of the guy making the suggestion dabbing, and then the other a headline saying Ford recalls 1.4 million vehicles for steering wheels that fly out the window. And when I first saw it, I was so stoked because it's like they predicted it. And then I realized it was a headline from last year, and almost certainly that's why they wrote those lines.
Brian, what if I were to tell you that according to an interview with Tim Robinson,
No.
most of those sketches were written when he was at SNL,
No.
but definitely predate the recall.
Oh, man. I bet he's really...
I don't know if that sketch was. And I also question again why this one element makes you sad.
Well, because
it's very weird to me that you have fixated on it. But I just want to let you know, I went back because I saw a headline that was like, Tim Robinson talks about where half the sketches from the show came from his old time at SNL. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if it was that sketch. Now I'll be able to bring it to Brian. I'll be able to make Brian happy. I don't know why you're sad, but I just want to let you know possibly it did not get written because of the
Yeah,
story.
well, and I'm not sad. It's just like, how amazing would it be if a goofy comedy sketch where they picked the dumbest feature for people to request, a steering wheel that doesn't fly off, happened to turn out to be a real problem? That would be amazing. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed. Indeed. All right. So this segment brought to you by Netflix of us talking about a series on Netflix is brought to you by Netflix. Go watch Netflix. Bryce, what's the fucking game?
Stinky! Stinky!
So this is a game called Jargon and the Jargonauts. Adam, aka Speed Demon, went and found a list of business jargon over at theofficelife.com. And you guys are going to have to tell me what you think the jargon means.
Oh, all in on this.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Where's the
Wow,
game?
wait, hold on, wait a minute. Which of us has worked in an office most recently?
I did I guess 5 years ago. My last job was an office job.
2009 was my last office job.
Hey, man, it was quite literally the most recent job I had, so I think we're good.
Okay, yeah, but that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
It's kind of a while ago.
Sorry, officer. I didn't.
I guess it would. I mean, like if you can count the go. No, actually, no. I was doing a lot of office jargon. My job was to go to other people's offices and deal with their office jargon. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have an advantage here. And after last week, I need a little self-esteem boost.
So,
You know
so what you're
what?
saying is, Brian, if you could take a little DIVE on this one, I'd feel
Yeah.
better.
No. Number one, I'm going to use my trivia acumen. I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to game theory. I'm not going to deceptively and manipulatively try to protect my lead like some people, not Scott or Bryce, are
Damn it.
and do constantly and did last week without doubt.
I started locking in my answers on my phone.
Multi-tabs.
Exactly. On
Multi-tabs.
Question 15 of 16. Look at my phone. Look at my phone when I have a 2-point lead.
I liked BioCow's comment. He says, how millennials are killing office jargon.
Yeah, well, let's find out. How are
Let's find
they?
out. So yeah, we'll go in round, and whoever's closest gets a point. How about that?
Ready.
Go.
All right.
Fair enough.
Round one. We're gonna start with Brian on this one. The word is job stopper.
A job stopper?
Job stopper.
You know what? That is a piece of information that comes in, and it is so hot off the presses that it means everybody, you might even not even need to finish this task. It's a real job stopper. Wait until you get this data point. It's a real job stopper.
Oh, okay. So like a linchpin piece of data.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a data point that is so important that it might render everything moot.
Oh, okay. Cool. Justin?
Oh, I think it's the real dead weight on the team. You know, I'll tell you what, once you remove the job stopper, the job gets done
Oh.
because there's one person really gumming up the works. You need a little bit of Drano to clear that hairball.
The only thing worse than a job stopper is an ever-talking job stopper, am I right?
I know. God, I wish we had coffee mugs to click.
You're right.
All right. Scott, what do
All
you
right. I know what this is. So
Oh,
you,
okay.
you guys are crazy. Here's a job stopper. You have a production line of some sort. Let's say it's a, I don't know, assembly line. And you're putting together, let's say, I don't know, computers. And all of the hard drive cables have a short in them. A whole batch came from China. And turns out they got a short in them. And at that one point of assembly, we have a job stopper.
Oh,
Oh, so it's quite literal. It's something that stops the queue.
It stops the queue. It stops the job. Production can't continue. Foreman's freaking out. Everybody's yelling. Managers are involved. That's a job stopper.
All right, Bonnie, what do you think?
I think it is a coworker or somebody who walks through the office that is so hot, they are a job stopper. Like nothing happens when they walk through. Maybe it's the temp or the guy that takes out the trash or I don't know.
Go on, keep going with these
Uh-huh.
increasingly
Or, you
specific
know,
examples. Go
Just
ahead.
the person that waters the plants and they bend over and they pick up the dead leaves
Yeah,
and they're
pick it up.
wiggling their short-skirted butt around.
Short-skirted
and-
butt, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
is that hot? I don't know. I don't know how to talk
Yeah.
job stopper talk.
Guys like
but-
a short butt.
Did I say short butt? Short-skirted butt.
Made some
Short-skirted, like who waters plants in a skirt? I don't know, but that guy with the
Public job
biceps
stopper
taking out the
with a
trash.
short ass.
mm.
Short ass.
Yeah. Oh my God, Becky, how short is her butt?
All right.
I just want to know what a butt with skirting on it looks like. like like everything's firm, but there's just flappy doodles that just hang around the bottom cheek.
Just like right at the bottom end of the cheek. It's like a mattress. Like
It's like they had a tumor that deflated and it just sort of dangles all around there.
Oh, you gotta bring it to.
Yeah.
All right. The correct answer for Jobstopper is a tattoo on a part of the body that isn't covered by business casual.
That's Bonnie.
Where-
That's Bonnie. Bonnie gets that.
I was going to say Scott because work actually doesn't get done in his answer.
No, but in Bonnie's either, and she it was involved a person. A person
Yeah.
was involved. Where it's
I mean,
about cables.
Well, points for both. How about that? Scott and Bonnie get a
look,
point.
I'm paying for those Mayo texts now. That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
enough.
Yeah, why don't you get a tattoo right across your forehead so you can't get a job? says Mayo lover.
Male lover.
Male lover.
Mayo.
No, put
Oh,
do
it
male
said
lover.
Male lover.
Pride month,
Well, no,
baby.
they'll put you in the mail room then.
Yeah. Do not date Mayo lover. I can tell you that.
All right, I'm gonna say both arguments are good. I'm gonna give Scott and Bonnie a point on that. There we go.
Ding 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 ding.
All right, let's get to round two. We're gonna start.
Get a little fanfare going here for the winner.
Did you just pull the equivalent of a, can I get some applause, please?
Fine.
Please clap.
Yeah, push, please clap. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, a brief one. All right, we're gonna start with Justin on this one. Justin,
Yeah.
the term is duck shove.
Duck shove.
Duck shove.
Oh, a duck shove is one of those where you don't want to take blame for something, so you're gonna duck and shove somebody else right into the buzzsaw. It's just one of them corporate survival moves. Make sure that you're not on the big man's radar when the shit goes down. Duck shove the idiot right into the firing line.
Oh, okay, Scott, what do you think a duck shove is?
Well, the boys back in the warehouse got to get up real high to get to the stock you're trying to sell to your number one client out there in the main office, and you got to go back there and tell Billy to get up on the duck shove and pull that down. That's what the nickname is for the otherwise just what do you call it? A forklift? They call them a forklift technically, but it's sometimes known as a duck shove in certain circles.
Sure it is.
That is, well, north of the Mason-Dixon, they call it a duck shove.
Bonnie, what do you think a duck shove
Okay, I'm thinking about how ducks do it, and ducks have corkscrew.
Oh, you fucking stole
I
my idea.
stole
You
it.
stole my idea. Keep
no,
going.
I did not steal it.
Keep going.
We just have the same mind. So it's when.
Remember, this is an office setting.
I know.
No.
Okay.
No.
Can we
Just
unify our
We'll
answer?
do it together.
Because it's what
Right.
happens when the corkscrew cock of corporate upstairs
Yeah.
decides to give you the real duck shove.
No, I have a different take on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Bonnie's
Well,
first.
mine is
Okay,
you get
so
duck
it's
shoved.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You get duck shoved. Okay. Ooh. No, I don't know. I think you might win on this. But my thought is that when, you have all these red tape, it's like you have to go talk to so and so, and you got to get it approved here, and you got to get it approved
Oh, so
there.
you're saying the
So
act of
I'm-
navigating red tape is not unlike the metaphorical screwing of a corkscrew going in a twisted vagina, given like you are conducting a duck shove.
You're
trying to make it to the
conducting
ovum
your-
of completed tasks.
We are at
Right.
MetaphorCon 1, folks. This
So
is-
we have
no,
different
no.
takes on the same
yeah, no.
metaphor.
I think getting duck shoved is what corporate does to you.
Yeah.
One time I was walking back into my apartment in Florida, and I saw two ducks having sex, and I will never shake the violence that was happening in front of my face. It was the most it was like legit. I was in my late 20s, and I'm like, he's hurting her. Because I'm pretty sure that he was. Like, he was pecking her head so hard. I don't know whether it was a real duck sex or it was like duck rape, but something was happening and I was uncomfortable with it.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so to just make sure we clarify the answers we've got here, Brian, you're saying it's when corporate fucks you over.
Yep.
And Bonnie, you're saying it's
Navigating red tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the correct answer of duck shove is the act of passing a difficult question or task to an unsuspecting third party. I duck shoved that paperwork over to Jonathan, and I think Justin.
Yeah, I think Justin did get it.
Justin's pretty close.
You nailed it.
Got him. Duck and shove on the board, baby.
Although I am bummed because if that was the answer, then the title of the episode could be Duck Rape and Red Tape.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I guess
I'm
there's
sure
still
you're gonna want to do that.
time
Great
for that one.
SEO.
But
Great SEO.
I'm just
I
saying.
guess so. All right, round 3.
It was one of my favorite Talking Heads songs.
Yeah, you'll get that elusive demographic that are always typing rape in the search field. That's
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, hey, what did Paul Mattingly want to call your new compound?
Wait, what was it?
I don't even want to say
Jesus
it.
Christ. No,
Just
all right,
let
so
you know.
moving right along. Hey.
Everybody, welcome to round 3 of this game. We're gonna start with Scott here.
Okay.
TLA.
ELA.
TLA. TLA.
Okay. TLA. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know what it is.
Okay.
So you're in a meeting, and you're all trying to make a big decision, big corporate decision, and somebody makes a call on something, and you disagree so wholeheartedly with his argument. You say that's TLA or total argument. I forgot what the A stands for.
Well,
Shit.
argument would probably
Said
be the
argument.
A.
Argument has an A at the beginning of the word.
Hold on.
TLA.
TLA. You need an L.
Oh, right. TLA. Sorry. Total. Oh, yeah. Totally lost argument. That's what it is. And they're just saying, you got a TLA there, Phil. We're going to go my way or the highway.
A lost cause completely. Okay, Brian.
Bonnie ducked out for a second, so I'm going to say I'm stealing this entirely from the chat because I think they're right on the money. Hey, man, you think you're going to impress us with a bunch of TLAs? TLA, of course, meaning 3-letter acronym.
Okay.
It's a self-referential thing. It's an acronym about the fact that you're throwing TLAs.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, he gets up there, spews a bunch of corporate bullshit, a bunch of TLAs.
Like Linux,
Yeah.
right? Linux is not Unix.
Sure, it's exactly like that.
I think that's what that means, right?
Klein literally almost made me laugh and interrupt Scott with tits and long ass. None of this short ass. We want long ass.
Give me the long ass, baby. Okay.
Oh, laughable. It was total laughable argument.
Well, Scott, you've already locked in your final.
A totally laughable argument.
Yeah, like, Phil, you're that's a terrible argument. You make me laugh. Go get us coffee.
I see.
Right?
Fucking classic Tim.
All right. Well, one of you is going to be Brian Brushwood. TLA is a 3-letter
son of a bitch.
acronym.
Oh!
When there's no time to say 3 whole words, even when complaining about acronyms. TLA. Congratulations.
That's pretty good.
Brian.
Pretty
I'm
good. Yeah, no.
I'll give you 2 points for getting that right on the money. How about
Hey.
that? There we go.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know. Give the chat room a point.
Yeah, give the chat room a point. In fact, I give them one of my points.
Okay, very
I'm
good.
generous. That's I'm a really G-O-G, a great old guy.
Great old game.
That's
Great
the
old
TLA
guy.
for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It is 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 then. In this game of Jargon and the Jargonauts. All right, we're gonna go to round.
I wanted to even out the points because if Brian had 2, then he would just say my answer for the rest of the game.
No, I would lock it in on my phone first and hold it with it obscured.
Oh, yeah, the lockbox. Please, everybody inspect it.
All right, round 4 here. We're gonna start with Bonnie's back. Bonnie, you want to start off this round?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Our term is kilting.
Oh, can you spell it?
Sure. Kilting. Kilting.
Kilting.
Kilting. Kilting.
Kilting is when you. Okay, so like when a Scotsman kilt, all of mine are sexual. Okay,
Keep going. Keep going.
Kilt flies up, then you're like kind of surprised. You're like, oh yeah, you don't wear underpants under there. So I would say when you go into a meeting and you just bare your balls and you're like, I'm kilting this. Like, okay, hey, this is what's going on. I'm just showing you all. And like, let's just move forward. So
Okay,
it's
so showing your balls in the workplace.
okay, either metaphorically
Or actually.
or
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Oh, I
Short
see.
skirt balls. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Short. Wait, hold on, Bonnie. Short or long balls?
Yeah.
We
Because,
really
and
do.
also, which pair of ass is underneath that kilt? Is it the short or
it's-
the long?
It's
Short balls, long ass. Can you do that? Does that
It's-
work as a combination?
It gets hidden in there.
long man.
Oh, long man. Okay.
Sure.
Reference nobody gets.
That's it. Brian, let's go to you.
Hey man, I
Kilting.
think Bonnie's close, but it's when you go in as if you have something, but you got nothing underneath. You bluff and bluster like you have something, but we all know you got nothing on underneath.
I see. Okay, so a bluff. All right. Justin, what do you think?
I'm actually going to say what Bonnie said, even though I just made fun of the concept of Brian stealing answers. But I'm going to steal Bonnie's answer, and I'm going to say that it's opening. It is the male version.
Now understand, science cares about details. So
Yeah,
All right,
get
so
real
yeah,
detailed
it-
as you
it-
describe the
it is
balls.
the different version of opening the kimono. You are now revealing everything there is to reveal about a project. This is what happens when you might, in a merger, you're like, flirting a little bit, but then it's like, oh no, here's what we have to offer. We need to see your financials. That is kilting.
I see. All right, Scott.
All right, so I'm going to get more specific. I actually remember hearing this term. I was a lot younger, though, probably 18, 19 when I was hearing this term.
Oh, okay.
Kilting meant that if you were a guy and you had on the tight shorts or shorts without a zipper, sometimes it could be like a swimsuit or something.
Sure.
You'd go to the can because you got to pee, so you'd go to like a urinal, toilet, and instead, because you're not going to go to one of those and just drop your pants in front of all the dudes in the bathroom. It's not
No,
going to work.
you're not gonna little boy pee. I mean, you're gonna sideswipe the didgeridoo.
Right. You're gonna pull up that one pant leg. You're gonna flop out to the left or right,
Yeah.
and you're gonna go that way.
Yeah. And of course, this is classic business place jargon, which is what this
Yeah,
game is
that's
about.
right.
So I think clearly you're right.
So pulling your penis out the side to urinate.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me tell you how it applies to corporate structure. So
Oh, wait, hold on. There's another explanation. Bryce, how
no.
ignorant of you. How ignorant of you to stop him like that. You're gross and weird. Scott, please go ahead.
Please
All
continue.
right. So that's the thing. That's what you actually do. But how it applies in a company context
Yes, the company context. you
Good
fucking
save, good
idiot,
save,
Bryce.
good
is
save.
if you are you're cheating your way around a normal process. You're kilting your way around a normal process. So I used a certain kind of metal instead of titanium in that batch of stuff we shipped to China.
Yeah, you really
Oh,
kilted
you
that
tilted
one.
right around that rule, did you?
Yeah.
That-
Okay.
So the rule would be the pants, and your penis would be profit, and
The urine is sales?
on your morals.
Yes.
I love that. Bonnie just casually says, "The urine's always sales."
I mean, what else are you doing? Throwing it away? Alrighty. Well, the correct answer for kilting is... What am I saying? Bum, bum, bum. To make preparations for the Scottish market.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm gonna say...
Are you telling me that Scott was actually the closest of all of us?
Yes, I believe that is the case that Scott, with his answer of pulling your penis out through the leg of shorts that do not have a zipper to urinate, is the closest answer in this game. Congratulations, Scott. That's 2 points. That's your second point there.
Oh God!
That worked out all right.
How is it not a haggis pun?
I guess fun. I don't know.
All right, we get some more here. We're gonna start. Let's see. This is number 5. Let's start with Brian again, but we'll reverse the order. How about that? Brian, I'd like you to tell me about Babylonian Orgy.
Oh, Babylonian Orgy. As we all know, George S. Clason wrote the classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah,
We
which
all
ends
know
in
this.
an orgy. We all know that it ends in an orgy. That's what he does.
It's a series of parables involving the virtues of saving money. So when somebody in accounting is overly fastidious, holding back more funds than maybe are necessary, oh man, Curtis over in accounting, he's having a real Babylonian orgy, if you know what I mean. Somebody canceling Christmas and not letting us browse ESPN at work hours. Yeah,
Being a penny pincher.
yeah,
Okay.
real Babylonian orgy.
I see. Let's go in backwards order. Bonnie.
Wait, I
Babylonian
thought
orgy.
Babylon was kind of like a naughty place, right?
No, that's Sodom and
Sodom.
Gomorrah.
Wait.
But I mean, Babylon was not only hanging gardens ish.
Jason.
Yeah. Babylon. Well, I feel like this is a term that people say when they're going to go have an extravagant lunch. So like
Babylonian orgy.
yeah, they're gonna have a Babylonian orgy. They're gonna go like spend 3 hours, and they're gonna order every entree, and everybody's gonna pick off of each
Oh,
other's food.
is it too late to change
Interesting.
my answer to flying
Yeah.
out to an abandoned desert and sucking dicks?
Yes. It,
What?
I'm-
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
it
I don't
is too
think
late.
this
Okay,
is
all right.
office terms.
I mean,
I'm hoping we've moved
allow
beyond
it.
that.
I'll allow it if anybody. Okay.
If Justin's okay with it, I don't.
well, I mean,
you want to do that going out
and
to
have an orgy.
going
is
to
all
the
I'm saying.
going to the desert and sucking dicks.
Going to an abandoned desert and sucking dicks.
Yeah,
is
but
Brian's
specifically
new
above
official-
the ancient ruins of Babylon. Yeah.
specifically above. All right, fine. Further amendment.
Okay, so that's my.
An abandoned desert. What is that even?
You know,
Why
all
does it
of
have to
those
be abandoned?
occupied deserts, Scott.
Yeah, you know.
The opposite of that.
No, that means that somebody.
You're like Jesus. I liked it when it was cool 10 years ago. So fucking crowded.
I just mean like it. That implies it was occupied and now they abandoned it.
Well,
for some
that's
As-
just it. As I assume Babylon is at this point. Unless is Babylon like a currently very popular place? I don't know.
I have no idea. It's jumping over there. As Sunbun in the chat says, AKA a desert. Okay.
It's an abandoned desert, like Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh, all right.
You can probably have an orgy. I think that's where the hooker houses are.
All right. So now, Scott. Scott, what do you
All
think
right.
a Babylonian orgy is?
All right, I think what this is when you've got an executive or somebody in, say, the marketing team in a like a closed room, like what do you call those? Conference room,
Conference room.
right?
Closed room, yes.
Yeah, you know, the closed rooms. They were in the conference room, and he's so animated and excited. He's pointing at whiteboards. He's got PowerPoints and keynotes and visual aids. He might even get up on a chair and gesticulate. And I think that his overdoing it with the terms like synergies and we're going to do the best practices and all those dumb terms.
ELAs.
That's a Babylonian orgy, just letting it all just fly like like that's normal talk. It's not
and
real.
then they start sucking each other's dicks.
Abandoned closed room.
Yeah. Like,
All right. And then Justin.
I believe a Babylonian orgy is just a very long, useless conference call
Oh, interesting.
or meeting. Conference call or meeting. I'm gonna go conference call or meeting. I'm widening it out a little bit.
All right. There we go. All right. We have got an almost completely correct answer.
What?
Babylonian orgy is defined as a boring conference out of town.
Ah!
Only applicable if the participant will enjoy a single minute of the time away. Quote, Tim's off at some Babylonian orgy, so don't expect him back till Monday.
I forgot to mention that in my scenario, all the dick suckers are straight. So none of them are having a good time. So technically, I was more right.
They're just doing it because of the enchantments of the desert.
Well, no, they're doing it because it's their job. It's a very
It's a job to go out to an abandoned desert and suck each other's dicks.
I mean, in my scenario.
Suck each other's dicks. To be honest, that's probably a preferable thing to some sales conferences I've heard people do.
All right. We are at 1-2 to 2 to 1 to 1. So this is the final face-off between Justin and Scott for the win. Actually, no, everybody, because this is going to be for 3 points. How about that?
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
That's right.
Oh.
All right.
For that. Okay.
All right. Our last one here is... And we're going to start... we'll start with Justin, because he just got a point.
right.
Oxygen move. Oxygen move.
What now?
Oxygen move.
Oxygen move.
Correct.
An oxygen move is what happens when you're trying to get a little bit more time or freedom on something. You are making an oxygen move. You just need to breathe fresh air. The deadline's bearing down. Your boss is getting on you. He's trying to bring you into a closed room or some abandoned desert. I make an oxygen move. Let me get some distance. Move it on.
All right. There we go. Scott, we'll go to you next. Oxygen
Oh my gosh.
move.
I think that Justin's close, but I think it's you've been in a position too long and it's wearing on you bad and you're just not motivated and you go to your manager and just say I need to change, and they give you an oxygen move, which is like different office, different focus, different team, get away from the what you're sick of doing, avoid burnout. That's an oxygen move.
I see. It's sort of freshen up in a new role. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, what do you think an oxygen move is?
I think it's a deadline extension where it's this is close to Justin's, but specifically I'm going to say, well,
Oxygen move.
oxygen move.
Oxygen move.
It's a real oxygen move.
Oxygen move.
Oxygen move.
You know what? I'm gonna say it's a decision that much the way oxygen corrodes the engine of success that built this great company, brings it down into a tumbling pile of rust. Hey man, when you decided to downgrade our 409Zs to FYUKs, then that was a real oxygen move. You're corroding the engine of success that is this company.
I see. So corroding sort of the...
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Corroding the engine of success, because everyone knows that.
All right, look. Hey, all right. You can either start giving me side eye and shaking your head because I'm too close to your answer, or you can mock my very different answer, but you don't get to do both. That's a real oxygen move, motherfucker.
I'm sorry, I just stalked the FYCKs.
Okay.
Well,
Bonnie, oxygen move.
I think. Well, let's think about what provides oxygen.
Okay.
Plants. I think that's when you bring the weed into the negotiation.
That is a real
Oh, I see.
oxygen move.
Yeah. You just bring.
Just gonna write in all caps weed.
Yep. I think everybody needs to take a little breather. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Real
deal?
oxygen move. Got it.
It's an oxygen move.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, the correct answer we were looking for oxygen move is the act of breathing new life into a project or business. Your team's productivity is down. We need an oxygen move to keep things moving forward. And I think, I gotta say, Bonnie.
I think Bonnie has it. I think Bonnie was closest.
Sorry, but I think
What was Bonnie's?
weed.
Weed.
And so with that, with a million billion points, congratulations to Bonnie.
Congratulations, Bonnie.
Thank you to Speed Demon for sending this sending this game in. Hey, if you're a patron, listen to the after show where I tell the guys a fun fact about the quiz that they just took.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I'm a little upset because like I would like to revel in the win, but then I'm like, oh, these guys take games too seriously. Like they know they won. So
There's only one quiz we take too
She would like
seriously.
to revel in the win, but she forgot she's out of weed.
Oh! Thank you
You
guys.
need a real oxygen move, man.
You need to make an oxygen move.
Hey, man, you want to take a moment, do a little bit of diamond time?
Indeed, Brian. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project right here on the show. Just head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub. That's where you can shout out your project. The top 3 voted up get read each and every week. The Jen Says leads us off. Hi, Diamond Club fam. A member of our DCTV crew could use a hand. September, a.k.a. 9 of 12, is losing her voice and needs surgery.
Oh, no.
As one of her co-hosts on Geek Grills, I would really love all the help we can get because surgery is expensive. So please donate, or if you can at least give it a share, it'd be greatly appreciated. tinyurl.com/help9. Again, that is tinyurl.com/help9.
Man, voices are important. So yes. Please, donate.
Yeah, let me just say this. I don't like the idea of ever stopping doing what I like doing. Like I'm not a big like retirement guy. I don't really have a whole lot of goals of what I want to do when I'm old. What I want to do when I'm old are better and cooler versions of the things that I'm doing right now. There's one thing, and like I feel like I bet pretty well. It doesn't really matter about how old I get or how feeble my body is. I could literally just lay in a bed and continue to do exactly what I do, except for one thing, and that is losing my voice. So I will be donating to this because that is my number one fear in my career. It's the one failure point.
Can I tell you that, like, at some point we were evaluating whether or not to get, like, disability insurance or whatever. I'm like, look, I mean, I'm a magician. It's like, if my knees give out, I'll just figure out a way to do magic sitting down. You know, it won't be a thing. And then I was listening to radio talk show financial guru Dave Ramsey when he says, yeah, I have disability insurance because if I lose my voice, I'm sort of totally screwed. And I'm like, if I lost my voice, I would, oh dear. And then, and suddenly I saw the value.
Or if your hands, like if your hands got...
Name one time something happened to these beautiful digits.
I couldn't pick just one.
BioCow writes us saying, what up, D-Club? I'm sure you all know by now that I made Showbot for Twitch to help pick show titles. It's used not only by Night Attack and Frog Pants, but also DTNS, Ritual Misery, Geek.io Show, The VOD Squad, and many other podcasts you should listen to. I've been putting more work into it and want to move it to a new set of servers that would allow me to do even more. And you can help make that happen for just $1 a month. For your $1, you get to submit unlimited titles and make unlimited votes, 1 vote per title. Plus, you'll be thanked at the bottom of every Showbot page. Linking to the support page is showbot.tv/s/supporters.php or go to bit.ly/showbit, BIT, to support. Thank you very much. Dude, BioCow, what a wonderful gift you've given the world. Why is this not busted out of our own tribe? And why is everybody on Twitch not using it? It's so
'Cause
good.
I don't know that there are as many people doing podcasting necessarily on Twitch.
Oh, they probably don't pick titles for just 12 hours
I
of
would
diarrhea
say that
streams.
If you watch a podcast on Twitch, then suggest that they do a thing and that they sign up for Showbot, because I think it is such a fun way to pick titles and is always so community oriented.
Also, BioCow's super responsive to people. Like, I had this one niggly little dumb issue where I couldn't stand the 3 or 4 clicks it took to copy something out, because we use not only titles, but we use other not used titles to make up the chunk of our top of the show read to kind of say, hey, here's what's coming up. So we do this at the end of the show, so it was even more valuable. And he says, oh, what if I made it so 1 click and you got there, Johnson? And he did it. And I didn't even ask. He just did it, and it was super nice. And he totally has my support. It's an awesome little service.
Hell yeah. Blue-Eyed Ginger Southpaw writes, hi, longtime chat realm lurker here, looking to spread the word on a new Kickstarter. Liana Kersner is looking to fund her latest online video series, Boss Fight. With all the negative myths and stereotypes surrounding video games and gamers, Liana's looking to fight back against the endless moral panic with facts and fun. Her previous video series, Lady Bits, dealt with issues and myths concerning women in gaming. Boss Fight aims to take things to the next level using the same mix of humor and analysis, but widening the scope of topics to discuss. I highly recommend you go look up Lady Bits on YouTube. And if you like what you see there, then pop on over to YOLO420.com/boss fight. Kicking a few shekels to the new series.
Hells yeah. Don't forget, head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com and find that sticky post if you want us to read your stuff right here live on the air. Shall we do a bit of movie draft minute so we can rub some faces in some garbage? It's a real kilting.
Indeed, Brian.
Okay. Welcome to the probably longer than a movie draft minute, because I'm going to say it very slow because Roberto had some tech issues. So here's the standings for the winter movie draft. Summer movie draft. See, I need to take it slow. Team Hammerson is in 6th place with $229 million. In 5th place, it's Grant from the Beerists at $389 million. In 4th place, it's Sword and Laser with $533.9 million. In 3rd place, it's Night Attack with $669.3 million. In 2nd place,
Nice.
John Trekker, $673.4 million. And in 1st place, Team Frog Pants with $873.0 million. And that's your movie draft update.
Scott, I just last week, I believe, was saying that I was truly believing you guys were going to win because I thought for sure Avengers Endgame's re-release was going to bring in, I don't know, maybe $100 million. And I thought that would widen the gap enough that It Chapter 2 couldn't possibly close it. But damned if you're not $200 million apart, and It Chapter 2 could very well make $200 million. And even if it doesn't, Toy Story 4 has a little bit more in the tank. Are you nervous?
More than I was. And also, I kind of thought the same thing, but I think I was being optimistic. I think that I don't say the audience is burnt out on it, but we've spent our time with Endgame pretty hard this year, like as viewers. Like we all went 2 or 3 times. We pounded that thing down. And I think hearing that, it's coming back with slightly a few extra things. I think a lot of people went, yeah, you'll have that on the Blu-ray, right? Like they're not just rushing out there to get it.
I'd hate to admit it, but it's like I'm in that camp. It's like I thought seeing Endgame again is a great thing for other people to do, but not me.
Yeah, I agree.
So is the re-release is already out?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
guess what's your guess of what it made in its re-release opening weekend?
I didn't even know. It wasn't even on my radar that it was coming back out. So yeah, I don't know. 40.
$10 million.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
They squeezed every bit of toothpaste out of that tube, and that was kind of just that.
That's
I do think that part of it is like, it's also hard to re-release it when there's new Marvel crack out in theaters right now, right?
yeah,
Like
or
there's
about to
new-
come out.
Yeah, no, it's out now. Spider-Man's out now. I think now if they had re-released Endgame after Spider-Man and it was like, oh wait, some stuff that was revealed in Spider-Man, now we're gonna give you a larger Avengers context in our post-credit scene, then I might have dragged my ass out, but I didn't even know it was back out in theaters. So
Yeah, and they didn't really market it much other than we all kind of heard it through IO9 and all the nerd ways we hear about stuff like this, but there was no like mainstream commercial plan or any kind of weird, way for people to find out. I think nobody knew. And so it's a little bit of that, but it's also, how are you going to get these people motivated these many months later? They're all looking forward to Spider-Man. Like that's all true. Here's the other thing that bums me out. It's probably not going to topple Avatar now. And the thinking was a re-release might put them over the top.
yeah,
Avatar takedown. It's not going to happen. So I guess James Cameron doesn't have to write 2 full-page ads congratulating Disney. So well
Yeah.
done.
Now the question is, it made in total $327 million, but 2 things are greatly different. It does not have the cast from the original It, right? These are adult actors, although more famous ones. And this has been a very soft summer in general.
It's been a
Kind of
soft year, man. Like all
Winter was super soft too.
yeah, receipts for box office across the country are garbage. I mean, in fact, one of our lead stories was whether or not it's the end of traditional cinema, and if everything's going to be streamed, because there's some high quality comedies that get critical success, but I don't think there's been a comedy smash in the box office for months and months or years even.
I mean, like,
Everything
well,
feels like that's where.
Like, by the numbers, that new Adam Sandler Jennifer Aniston movie has been streamed 50 cajillion times on Netflix. Like, so much so that Netflix said numbers. Like, you know that they're gaudy and ridiculous if Netflix literally says anything.
Yeah, and on top of that, keep in mind that those streams are very likely more than just one person. So the equivalent box office would be like $300 million or something ridiculous.
That might be the new place for that stuff. I mean, we say that all the time about streaming stuff. Like, oh, there's a chance to put all kinds of movies out there. But I wonder if rom-coms and raunchy comedies and that kind of stuff doesn't just live there in a better way.
I kind of feel like the move for Netflix going forward would be like with like a Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and like literally just do all your like wacky, I'm playing the same character that I have for 15 years stuff on there. And it's like, for that crowd, the like we're going to allow big screen, big time releases to be screened day and date on streaming services crowd, like they will eat it the fuck up.
I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. So Scott, make your prediction. It too. Will it take over? Will it make more than 200 by the time that all of your movies are done making money?
No, I think that first of all, I'm biased, so let's get that out of the way. But
you have never won, right?
No, this would be our first one. We've come. I think the best we've ever finished is maybe third once. Can't even remember if that's right. It may have been lower than that, but we've never won one. And both Brian and I felt really strong about whoever gets Endgame can win this, and so we felt really good about getting it. Blah blah blah. But I don't think it has. I don't think anyone cares the second time around. I mean, I care personally as a fan, but I don't think it is going to be the money bagger everyone thinks it is and is projecting it.
So
to be.
let me offer a counter argument. Chapter 2 has all the adults, which I believe has a much bigger, established, famous box office draw pool of talent for the adult versions of the kids. So if it did 300 million with unknown kid actors, I got to imagine name brand draws would have it doing well.
But but part of that draw initially was like, hey, do you like Stranger Things? It's Stranger Things, but it's it. So it's like, hey, if season 1 of Stranger Things was so successful with all these stupid kids, wait till you see season 2 where they're all replaced by more famous adults. It's like that would not have worked as well.
And maybe it would have. That would have been a fun twist.
Yeah.
I would have gone for that. Yeah, I don't know. I want that movie to do well, but not so well that it takes us out of the top.
So this is it, like as in Stephen King's It?
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Is it a continuation of
Last year's? Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
So like the original book takes place in 2 time periods, where first they deal with it as kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Second half of the book, they deal with it as adults. And so in the miniseries, that was like the 2-night event. Was one night they were kids and one night they were adults. And then that was kind of put together as like one movie when it hit home video and everything. But now it's like 2 full feature-length movies. And apparently it's good, and it's really scary, and it has like the bloodiest scene in movie history in it. I know that trailer creeped me the hell out with that naked lady running around.
Yeah.
Naked
Yeah.
ladies?
Ooh.
Ah.
All right. Hey, speaking of naked ladies, why don't we whip out our mailbag?
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
The Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Super grand. This is the part of the show where we read your email sent to mail@nightattack.tv. That's mail @nightattack.tv. Like this email from David C. David C. writes, Jerry, Bri, and Bryce, my 11-year-old daughter was diagnosed with chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. With treatment, she has great days, but sometimes she's bedridden and unable to do basic motor skills. However, she loves to challenge herself. I was wondering if there is a basic magic trick or set that she can do to pass the time and in her state. I really appreciate any advice you give. David C., a.k.a. Roosterbat. Hi, Roosterbat.
Oh, this is always my go-to. Like, in my entire tenure of doing Scam School before we evolved into Scam Nation, almost everything I did was taking something 100 years old, changing something to bar coasters, and then putting it out there. But one of the few really good original tricks doesn't require even having hands or anything. As long as you could talk, you could do it. It's the mind control scam, the one that Richard Garriott did on the International Space Station, where you mention that you saw a video with a psychological expert, life coach, crazy guy, and he said that if you recite some lines of poetry, the next thing somebody would think of is a particular playing card, so you want to test it, so you recite the poetry, and then they say what card they're thinking of, and then you say, shut up, you've seen this video, I guess, right? And they're like, no, and then you say, do a Google search, and you give the guy's name, they search for it, they find the video, and sure enough, there it is, the interview that you were describing, and it's awesome. And the way it works is there's a very simple system by which you are able to memorize how to translate each card in the deck of cards to a separate name of the expert. He could be
It's a full name. Right?
Yeah, exactly. He could be a doctor, a reverend, a coach, a professor. He could be Alfred, Byron, Charles, David Edgar, or he could be a singleton, doubleday, or triplet. And it's dead simple. And when you get it down, it'll be great. So just search Scam
YouTube,
School Mind Control.
Yeah, YouTube clip proves mind control exists is the second time. We did it a few years ago on Scam School, kind of refreshing it. And it's great. It's got all the things right there. Check it out.
That's a really tight version of it. It's way good.
I made that one.
I was talking with Penny today about this being on the space station. Like, she goes, and she just was laughing. She goes, you mean Dad knows an astronaut?
Nowadays, I get this kind of annoyed, like, of course you do. Why would you? Like, I want her to be impressed, but instead there's just this vague annoyance with it's just like, yeah, Dad, whatever, you do everything. You make up mind control experiments on space stations. I get it.
Yeah, and then my favorite part was when she was cackling when I said, yeah, apparently the guy didn't remember Brian doing fire eating dressed as in a loincloth.
Yeah, no, that also happened with Richard Garriott. Yeah.
Interesting.
Long ago.
All right. Let's get to another. This is an anonymous email saying, Justin, promote yourself and tell us about Gen Con. Are you doing Gen Con?
I am. Yeah, I got 2 panels at Gen Con this year. One, we are redoing, or we're doing our How to Lose $40,000 on Kickstarter talk, which talks about the contender experience and how we raised a ton of money, how we then spent all that money and much more, but not in the normal dumb ways that people do it, which is like over-promising on certain perks and everything. We found new and interesting dumb ways to overspend our money, and then how we actually came back from that and wound up making it back. And then we're doing a brand new talk called how to involve politics in your game. I actually don't know the name of the talk, but basically it's just going to be all about like how to use politics as a theme, how some games use it as like a rallying cry. So it's like either a like, hey, like fuck Trump the game, and that's great if you're only selling it to liberals, or like the snowflake triggerers, and that's great if you're only selling it to conservatives. But if you want to use politics in a way that is someone that's going to sell to everybody, because that's part of it, here are the things that we've learned.
Oh, very nice. All right, we have one last email here for everybody. This is from Bobcat. Scott, we'll start with you on this one. You can see if you got something. Bobcat writes, have any of you ever had a nemesis?
Oh man. Yes.
Ooh.
I think we all do.
What's man? If anybody's watching the video version, you can see 3 people have an involuntary facial reaction, then feel the shame of having their involuntary reaction, and then look up at the monitors as we all realize we all definitely had a visceral reaction.
You know what? The only thing I thought of was like, man, I wonder if they hang out like the Legion of Doom.
Over there, they're like, how are we going to get that magician, that political, insightful person, and that gamer?
Superman, you fool. All right, I'm going to say that yes. And here's it's an old one, though.
Oh.
And it still exists. And I don't really have much to do with him anymore. But there used to be this real rivalry going on with a guy. Let's just call him Dan. And let's say Dan and I were always trying to one-up each other. And he can't stand that I was this is the word is he can't stand that I made it as a podcaster and artist on the internet, and that he ended up having to teach junior high school art. Now I actually think it's a noble profession and he should be stoked about it, but that's part of being a nemesis. You never think the other guy's, you think the other guy's better than you. So that's the thing that's gone on since like junior high up till this day. There are probably others, but I don't have any more shits to give. So I don't care anymore. It doesn't even bother me.
Are you defining nemesis as somebody that you hold animosity to, but that somebody who holds animosity toward you?
Probably the latter, because I don't really actually hold much animosity for anybody. Not really.
I think I have a nemesis, and this is not rooted in like reality or any interactions that we've had, or even me knowing this person very much at all. But I think my nemesis is Ariana Grande.
She's got it coming. I'm glad you put it out there. I've been thinking this for you. I've been saying this for
my
years.
nemesis is Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna take her down.
Did you not see I added her saying like, would you fucking Bryce is coming for you. You better get your shit together.
What is this about, Bryce?
I don't know.
Him, four other guys, according to that video.
Wait, is this the one that's all like?
Yeah, Bonnie, it's
no,
that, not Enya.
No, that's or I think she's doing Enigma with the
it's all of them. I mean, come on, guys.
Bonnie, you're wandering way out on that ledge.
What?
No, I don't know. It's just like I think the first time I saw her, I was like, who is this? No.
I'll tell you this much. I've had maybe 2 or 3 nemeses in my 20+ year career, and it is powerful fuel for a certain amount of time. But like that scene that only Scott will remember from Red Dawn, where the dude is making another notch on his shotgun, and he says all that fire is gonna burn you up, and the guy says keeps me warm, right? And it's like that's how it feels, but it does. It eats you up from the inside, and you're best letting it go, which is what I thought about 12 years, and I had finally let go of my nemesis. And then this troll starts hitting me up on Twitter saying like really dark shit, and it's like the exact right stuff. To
A random person.
Yes, the exact
a random troll. Yeah,
the exact shit that I fear most people will think about me.
Yeah.
And 4 years after that, I find out it's the same motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I've let go of all of my nemeses, save
for
one.
that one.
That motherfucker will deeply, deeply regret.
Wow.
Well, he does. I mean, like he's the one burning. He's burning because you have everything. And I mean everything.
Quite literally everything you wanted.
Quite literally everything he's ever wanted, you have. And it is quite possibly all on display on this very broadcast.
That's right. I'm fucking Bonnie.
Oh, now stop.
What? That's a fact. We have children. There's evidence of it.
Obviously, Bonnie,
Come
this
on,
is
come
factual,
on.
newsworthy information.
I don't know what you're even talking about.
Exactly. Why we need to talk about it right now? Apparently, we do have Bonnie, but we don't have subtlety.
Hey, man, look, I'm just trying to kilt this, all right? Don't make me bust out some TLAs.
Getting you ready for the Scottish market as we speak. Yeah, I have. Well, and I would define nemesis more like Brian than like Scott, in that it is somebody that I have burning animosity toward, and it's I've talked about it a bunch, but yeah, this one was actually also named Dan, But for real, not a euphemism. Like he in the moved out to New York City after college to pursue a career in comedy. Had traction with a group of 3 people. One of the guys I still get along with. The other guy was the one who kicked me out of the group. And I work specifically in comedy. I work. There's not a moment of effort that I put into any comedic endeavor in which I don't hope that he sees and it burns him like a vampire with sunlight. Like that is a constant goal of mine, is that any achievement I have, he understands, and that his life is pitiful. I have not followed up with his life, but I hear it's a shitty one in Portland.
Ooh, in Portland. Ooh.
In Portland.
It's a shitty one in Portland, but I repeat myself. Anyway.
No, I mean, look, I'm sure he's a very, very different person. And to be honest, it's like I kind of have a different view of it, because I actually, in a weird way, this might seem like I'm a crazy human, but I really don't hold any ill will to him now. Literally, if I were to run into him now, I'd probably reminisce about the old days. But there's a version of him in my head that is kept for motivational purposes, and that time split version of him, I want to continue torturing with my own success.
Nice.
That's a good motivation. Well, thank you for the email. Thank you, everybody, for sending in emails. Mail, MAIL, at nightattack.tv. We'll read them here at the end of the program, which is what this is.
Yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much, Scott Johnson, for hanging out with us. Is it past your bedtime, or do you now have whatever bedtime you want?
I can sleep whenever I want to now. I
pretty
can
good.
make those decisions, although I don't know if you guys heard about this. Earlier today, on a live stream on Twitch, I was doing something else entirely unrelated, and my wife shows up with a syringe in her hand.
Oh, jeez.
What?
I am a man of a certain age, let's say it that way, and I found out recently that I got the low T testosterone. Says it's low, my doctor says.
Yeah.
I said,
Okay,
"Well, how low?"
hey,
He goes,
but-
well, we'd like to see you here. You're down here. It'd be good to get you back up here. I think we're going to try these bum shots.
Wait, but before you share the rest of this, can I confess something? I always thought low T was like basically a fake kind of like, look, we know you want steroids. Just come in. We'll take some blood, and then we'll tell you, you know what you need is steroids, and then we'll give you steroids. Is that not what it is?
I appreciate your skepticism, but no, it's actually a thing to be low on your particular brand of, not hemorrhoid. What's the word?
Yeah, hemorrhoid. No, it's hemorrhoid.
Not hemorrhoid.
You have low.
There's a term. Hormone. So you're low on hormone.
No, I'm pretty sure it's hemorrhoids.
You know when teens are being hemorrhoidal?
Yeah.
This is how you know you got low T. You can't get the words hemorrhoid and hormone straight. But anyway, it's a real thing. People have low testosterone. They get treatments for it. It's basically just literally testosterone being pumped.
So if they were hemorrhoids, when they deflate, it becomes a bum skirt, like we were talking about before.
Yeah. And you hang it out the side and you pee with it, and then you're doing a skirt.
You're
or
kilting.
You're kilting. But anyway, so this was the thing. It was for real for me in this particular case. I have a friend with a tumor, a benign tumor in his head that stops production of all testosterone, and he is in the gutter with it. So he's the one that's yeah, you may want to get that checked. Turns out I was low. Anyway, Kim shows up with this needle. And I said, oh, I'm on a live stream. She goes, that's fine. Let's just do this. So on a live stream today in front of the internet.
Somebody get this. Get this clip.
It's
Bryce,
out there. It's clipped. It's out there. Someone has it. It's been on Twitter today.
Someone's got it here. You want to know what? Bryce, as soon as you have it, let me know, because I feel like we just need to throw to this clip and then we'll come back.
Oh my gosh. Wait, lower. Wait, where does he say to put it? Wait, honey, don't do it yet. I'm scared. Hold on. Ah! Is it all the way in? All the way? Oh, that's not bad. That's it? That was nothing. That didn't hurt. I don't know if I'm ready.
Oh, that was amazing!
God damn it. Scott's got them cakes.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt.
Inch and a half, that needle.
Okay, but
just
seriously,
duck
you
rushed that, or
immediately
what?
went and busted some PRs at the gym or something, right?
No, but it did. It had this effect it told me it would have, which is you immediately will get just like a kind of a jolt of energy from your first treatment, but also you might feel a bunch of weird sensations. So my arms are all tingly and hot. Like, I don't mean hot in a sexy way. I mean like temperature hot. And my knees felt weird and my feet kind of tingled. It was really weird for about 20 minutes or so of that. And everything's been fine since. But yeah.
Did you immediately
tell you that?
Did-
I don't even know why I told you.
By the way, you want to know why you did, Scott? Because you've literally just given Brian moral permission to get steroids.
They're not steroids. They're not steroids. They're the.
I know. Shh. Right? They're not steroids. Brian, fucking live your life. Whatever. Get on the juice. It'll be worth it for you to get the YouTube comments of like, Brian's got pythons. Jesus.
So anyway, I don't even know why I told you that, except that's where you can find great quality content at frogpants.com. So thanks for having me on, guys.
Hells yes, dude. Thank you so much for joining us, man. What a great time. Hey, Justin, what did we learn this week, man?
Oh my God. Well, we learned that Scott Johnson has kilted beyond recognition.
Yeah, man. On top of all his famous TLAs, turns out he's got a low T. He's got a lowercase T in his TLA.
Nice.
We learned that Brian's very, very excited not playing Hearthstone, if that's what you were thinking.
We also learned that Bonnie's going to set her artwork literally on fire. And I don't mean the ceramics that she sets on fire. I mean all of the paper and oils and acrylics based 20 years of work. We're going to have a bonfire.
Brian, all of it adds up to this. See you next Tuesday.
Hey, man. Love you, people. Die in a fire!
The Bit Boss.
Except for the Bit Boss! Bearded Will!
F a dog.
Bearded Will Gaming.
Gaming!
Thank you for
Thank you,
being-
Bearded Will
The
Gaming.
Bit Boss.
You're the only one we ever loved.
Yes, number one love for you.
Yeah, for now!
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you probably remember the Prince of Mouths.
Of course
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Justin does amazing impressions.
Sure.
I'm the world's number one mouth guitar expert. I just make these sounds that sound exactly polyphonically like the actual sounds that come out of a guitar. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, NASA recently had a project where they side by side, indistinguishable. Also, the form.
Kind of indecipherable too. It was a
That's why,
little-
Scott, that's why I garnered the nickname, the Prince of Mouths.
That's right.
Okay. This is new to me, but now it's all fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
together.
all very well known.
Listeners might remember this from, what is this, episode 242, the Zamfir of mouth guitar.
Yeah.
Do you know what also happened on that episode?
What?
This was back in October.
Oh my God, did we play the same fucking game?
What's up? We did. The game that we play tonight, you played in its almost entire identical structure.
Wait a minute. Same
It's
questions and everything.
October of
it
2018.
wasn't the same examples, was it?
It was, yes, it also was the same questions.
Man, and you guys don't even do a daily show. I can see you forgetting them, but a weekly? Oh, man. That's funny. So wait, they've answered these exact questions before.
We did 6 today. The 6th one I had to scramble to pick out of the list. But yes, the other 5 were in the exact order that they were presented in that
That's
episode.
amazing.
too.
I'm glad I was here for that. That's great.
This episode.
How did you not say? I mean, I guess this is a good post show.
All right, this is the part where I fucking point out that all you smug motherfuckers, all of you Kilton-ass motherfuckers in the chat, I didn't see you guys calling this out.
What's funny is when you got TLA exactly right, I thought, oh, someone remembered or figured it out. I mean, it's even the same name of the game, Jargon and the Jargonauts. I kind of thought that you might have remembered that, but
God damn.
it was very
one,
fun.
Fuck you, Bryce. You should have known better. Of course, we didn't fucking remember the game. We don't remember. You could have done last week's game, and you wouldn't have known it. I will say this: I hope you get your jollies that you made fun of Nana in the fucking
No!
home. That you were able to give her the same $1 bill every time and act like you were giving her a gift. But that's mean and fucked up.
No, I was not trying. This was not meant to make anyone feel bad. This honestly, the thought process for this was, I've been thinking about doing this for a very long time.
Wait,
I'm sure you
congratulations on your new video game, Alzheimer's Simulator, the game.
But the reason I did it was because we had a really busy day today, and I didn't have any time to prep anything, and I wanted to do whatever quiz we had done last time with Scott, but it was Chat Realm Feud, and I didn't have enough time to set up the new Chat Realm Feud board.
So hold on, did these guys answer questions in the same way they answered them before? Did they look like they had eureka moments, and then they just said what they said in October?
I don't. That's not listed here on the wiki, but
let's just write that down
time.
as highly unlikely.
Probably.
I'm going to say it's very likely that the random noise generator that is our brains went a different direction this time.
Yeah, probably. But
Alzheimer's the game too. Alzheimer's the game.
Oh my God! What a great tweet! Just all the.
Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.